Hello and a warm welcome to Federal's special program Capital Beat. Is the SIT chief for the Ram Temple theft case under scrutiny? Now, according to few reports which have been filed by journalist Abhishekh Upadhya. Now, Abhishekh Upadhya is someone who's worked for TV as well, and now he has his own channel which is called Top Secret. So, according to the reports filed by Abhishekh Upadhya, there is a pending case of forgery and cheating under sections 420 and section 465. I want to show you the screenshot. This is Abhishekh Upadhya who's done this story, and he's shown the copy of the FIR on his channel. You can see the sections 420 and 465. So you keep watching the screenshots. They'll keep coming on the screen, and I'm explaining to you what Abhishekh Upadhya has said on his channel called Top Secret. He has revealed a 2019 FIR, whose number is 0092. This FIR is filed, in fact, has been filed at Parikshitgarh police station, which is part of Meerut, where Vishwas Pant, who happens to be the SIT chief, he is also an IS officer. He was posted as the managing director in the Western Electric Distribution Corporation between 2013 and 15. Now, this FIR was lodged in response to a complaint which was filed by a person called Shiv Kumar. And in the FIR, if you see it closely, Vijay Vishwas Pant, who is the SIT chief, is shown as accused number 14. Now, if you see the various screenshots, this is actually the copy of the FIR, which is still pending. Now, he's explaining, Abhishekh Upadhya has explained that the investigation is pending, and Vishwas Pant happens to be accused number 14. This is a case where the investigation is still pending, and he has been made the SIT chief. So a whole lot of questions then again begin from here on, that if there was a case of forgery and cheating, if you look at the sections 420 and 465, this is a case of cheating and forgery. If these cases were pending, how was Vijay Vishwas Pant made the SIT chief in the case of Ram Temple theft? Did the government hide the details about the SIT chief? Was the government knowing about these details? Are there question marks now on the legal and moral tenability of the very SIT which was formed? Now, this has created waves since the time this report has gone viral. In fact, Congress spokesperson Surendra Rajput today held a press conference. I want to play out the bite of Surendra Rajput. Let's play out the bite of Surendra Rajput, because this press conference was just held about an hour back.
फिर ये एक एसआईटी बना देते हैं, बड़ी मजेदार चीज है एसआईटी। थोड़ा सा समय लूंगा, मैं तो बिल्कुल तथ्यात्मक बात कर रहा हूं। एसआईटी बनाते हैं, एसआईटी का हेड वीवी पंत जी को बनाते हैं। मतलब बड़ी हो रही है ना एसआईटी, दूध का दूध कर देगी, पानी का पानी कर देगी, और राम भक्तों का क्या नाम, जो लोग नहीं चढ़ावा दिए हैं, अरे चढ़ावा मैंने दिया है, जो भी सनातनी है सबने दिया, किसी ने खुद दिया, किसी के परिवार ने दिया। तो वीवी पंत जी हैं एसआईटी कमेटी के हेड। मेरे पास एफआईआर की कॉपी है, आप चाहें तो चेक कर लेंगे, आपको मैं दे दूंगा जिसको चाहिएगी। ये वीवी पंत जी मध्यांचल वितरण निगम के एमडी होते थे मेरठ में। 420 और 465 के जिम्मे भागीदार हैं ये लोग, आरोपी हैं ये लोग। आरोपी नंबर 14 है इस एफआईआर में, आरोपी नंबर 14 इस एफआईआर में है वो। तो जो खुद ही गबन का आरोपी हो, जो खुद ही लूट का आरोपी हो, उस आदमी को आपने एसआईटी का हेड बना दिया। कहते हैं ना कि मेरा कातिल ही मेरा मुंसिफ है, क्या मेरे हक में फैसला देगा?
This was Surendra Rajput, who's just held a press conference just a short while back. He was in Delhi, and he's spoken to the press about this video. Of course, this video was done by Abhishekh Upadhya, and after that, number of tweets have gone viral. Congress Seva Dal also has put out a tweet. Let's put that tweet out, followed by Mahua Moitra's tweet. I'm just showing the scale of the virality of this video where the SIT chief, there is a case of cheating and forgery. Let's put out this tweet first. This is Congress Seva Dal's tweet where it says that I'm not able to read because the font is so small. Bharani, if you can just
It says that can an officer against whom an FIR for cheating and forgery has been filed himself conduct a fair investigation
yeah,
into the Ram Mandir donation theft? That's a big
yeah,
question. And
yes,
and this is nothing but outright tampering with the people's faith. Doesn't the Uttar Pradesh government have a single honest officer left?
right.
Wonderful.
So yeah, so this is a tweet put out by Congress Seva Dal, now followed by another tweet with put out by Mahua Moitra. Let's play Mahua Moitra's tweet as well. Bharani, are you ready with Mahua Moitra's tweet, which I shared with you? Okay. Okay. So once that's ready, you can play that out. So the big question is that if there is a case of cheating and forgery, now look at what Mahua Moitra has written. That please watch this video. Ram Mandir SIT chief himself, a fraud with sections 420 FIR, and this is exactly what Abhishekh Upadhya has put out on his channel called Top Secret, where he's put out the documents, he's put out the copy of the FIR. He's also spoken to a few witnesses and the complainant, Shiv Kumar, the man who filed a complaint against Vijay Vishwas Pant, he's interviewed that fellow also. And he's saying that there was an order by the CJM as well. But the big question here is that the man who is investigating the Ram temple theft, there is a case of forgery and cheating. Can it get more bizarre than this? That's what exactly we are going to discuss. Joining me this evening is Sharat Pradhan, author, political commentator, senior journalist. Thank you so much, Sharat sir, for joining. We have Sarvesh Tripathi, Samajwadi Party spokesperson and lawyer as well. Thank you so much, Sarvesh, for joining. And we have Shaira Naeem, senior journalist and political commentator. Thank you so much for joining. Let me begin with Shaira because she has a meeting and she will exit after she's spoken. So, Shaira, what would you really say to this particular investigation done by Abhishekh Upadhya, which has gone viral? People are tweeting it left, right, and center, and this has become a huge talking point. This is just another chapter which is added to the Ram temple theft.
See, this SIT, when it came, people had doubts about what it is going to achieve, whether it's a eyewash or it's going to really do anything. So, because SITs are normally followed by an FIR. First, FIRs are filed and then, an SIT is set up. Here, it was the other way around. So, from the beginning, one did not have much faith in what this SIT would achieve or whether दूध का दूध पानी का पानी करने की हैसियत है इसके अंदर के नहीं है. So that it was doubtful. But today, after all these things have come up along with the documentary proof, then it looks like a big joke. It's a joke. A person who himself is involved in forgery and cheating would is how what locus standi does he have to find out something like the fraud and dacoity going on in the Ram Mandir? चोर क्या चोर को पकड़ने की हैसियत रखता है? So ये this whole thing is sounds most bizarre, and now it's pretty clear that this could not have happened without the knowledge of the people who assembled or who kind of set up this SIT. Did they not know about it, or they took it so lightly that it's just an eyewash in any case, and they said that let's go ahead? How can it be possible? At least some credibility of the SIT should have been there, so that people believe what they are doing. This means that from the beginning it had no credibility. How can a person be taken seriously who is himself facing these kind of very serious allegations? So it's just clear how serious the state government was about investigating the dacoity or the misuse of donations, which is taking place and had been taking place for a long time at the Ram Mandir. That's all I can say. It just shows there's no other. It requires no more proof. It is all there out in the open. of how serious the government is about addressing the issue of corruption by appointing another corrupt person.
Right. Just to give a little perspective of who Vijay Vishwas Pant is, and if you remember the Mahakumbh Stampede, he's the same officer on the screen who you remember during the early hours of when that stampede happened during Mahakumbh. He was the one who was asking and eliciting all the devotees to go and take a quick dip in the Ganges with that Hindi phrase which he had used at that time. Jo sovat hai wo khovat hai. If you keep sleeping, you will lose. That is what he had said on a loudspeaker, and that visual had gone viral. And he's the same officer, and now he was posted in the electricity department in the Western distribution segment. He was posted as a managing director, and now there are allegations of forgery and cheating. And he's the one who is heading the Ram Temple SIT. He's the one who's the SIT chief now for the Ram Temple theft. Sharaji, I'll come to you. Is this, would you call this an irony of situations, or was this a deliberately constituted SIT with Vijay Vishwas Pant as the head, so that there is no conclusive inquiry?
Well, Nilu, I think I said it on day one on your show as well, that SITs are constituted only to ensure a tailor-made report. And this society was constituted in utter haste because it was a game of upmanship, and Yogi Adityanath wanted to be way ahead of others before they could think of, because Yogi Adityanath has a lot of personal grudge or whatever with this fellow Champat Rai. So he thought it would be a good idea to teach that fellow a lesson. To that extent, it was fine as long as this crook could have been nailed. But what happened was that no sooner than this SIT was constituted, the Delhi walas took over. And Vijay Vishwas Pant had to choose between taking dictats from his master in Lucknow or the master's master in Delhi. So it was very obvious for any IAS officer. Until that time, I was under the impression that Vijay Vishwas Pant was known to be a forthright officer, and the only folly that he had committed was on the night of that stampede in Allahabad, where he was divisional commissioner. Now, the video, if you see that, he doesn't only tell people to come, get up, don't, ये सोने का वक्त नहीं है. What he added was कि अमृत वर्षा हो रही है और आपको जो पहले आ गया है वो जल्दी चला जाए, उसको अमृत मिल जाएगा, इसलिए सो मत, जो सोवत है वो खोवत है. It was an outright and stampede होने वाला है. We made it worse. He said जितने आप देर से जाओगे तो यहाँ पे भगदड़ मचने वाली है. So the fellow also knew कि there is a likelihood of just imagine if such a man is rewarded, that from being divisional commissioner of Allahabad, he's made divisional commissioner of Lucknow. And to top it all, he was rewarded with this probe, which was supposedly to investigate the worst of the crimes possible under a BJP regime, especially because they have always indulged in eulogizing Ram as the ultimate. To me, it seems, it may sound funny, but to me, it seems that all these guys they wanted to give it to Ram. Because Ram, despite using Ram, they lost 30 Lok Sabha seats in Uttar Pradesh. So, I mean, I wouldn't be surprised when Modi can go to the extent of telling the whole world, कि हम लेके आए राम को. Didn't you remember those posters where he says, ये लाए हैं राम को, और जनता is saying कि इसलिए हम इनको लाएंगे. So he's holding the finger of some 4.5-year, 5-year-old boy who's supposed to be Ram, depicting Ram. So I think this reflects Modi's unhappiness with Ram. Thinking, what the hell? I brought you, and you got us this reward in the form of losing 30 seats in the Lok Sabha. So now go to the Thana and lodge your report. Why the hell should I do anything fair and fair and clean for you? Maybe their arrogance, and he's already declared himself as non-biological, so he could be treating himself bigger than Ram. Although in my definition, this business of calling yourself non-biological. Somehow, all of us are often led to believe that this is in reference to God. But mind you, ghosts and spirits are also non-biological.
No, but
So I don't know
Charachi, the
what he was
documents
referring
which
to.
have been the documents which have been put out by Abhishekh Upadhya on his YouTube channel, how authentic are those documents? Because he's shown a copy of the FIR. We all know Abhishekh is a
No,
good
no,
journalist.
I have a copy of the FIR, and
Acha.
I also have an order of the court because it was this FIR. The government thinks that they can get away with anything. So what they did was that FIR had to be lodged because of a court in the intervention of the High Court. Because the guy against who was deprived of his work, which he claimed that ideally he should have got that contract and was not given that contract. So he went to court and he fished out documents in which some forgery had been done to deprive him of that contract. Now, this man, so they instantly, what they did, they used ink remover in the
Right.
original document, which was accepted by the court. And that's why the court said, no, this calls for an FIR. Otherwise, there would be no FIR.
Right.
Now,
No, but wasn't the government in the know of this? Didn't the Yogi government didn't know about this FIR which was there against Vijay Vishwas Pant, and even then he went ahead?
no, Yogi Adityanath always chooses to become ignorant whenever it is there to save his skin or his government skin. So it's very convenient. Today, I don't know. Tomorrow, they'll know everything. When they decide to use bulldozers against people who are still being are still under the scanner and who are still being and the process of prosecution is on, but verdict is already given by them. They get them houses bulldozed. But in this case, poor Yogi Adityanath didn't know. Which I mean, at least we are supposed to be believing that. So this Vijay Vishwas Pant thought that it's very convenient and he's so close to the chief minister. So he thought that who the hell will ideally an upright officer would have told the chief minister, "Okay, sir, I am not competent to be doing this because this
Yes.
involves Lord Ram's ke ghar ki chori and loot. So please, because I am already under some tomorrow, somebody will raise this question."
Right.
I am sure he didn't do that. If he was upright, he would have done that. And interestingly, most of the advisors, the close advisors to the chief minister, are less said about them, the better.
Right. No, but
And
also
and
that brings us to the question, Sharaji. I'll come back to you. Let me go to Sarvesh. That uh, does it go to show that the government deliberately hid this information from the people? Because now the big question is that should this thing would have been told to the people? Was the government deliberately hiding this FIR which was there against Vijay Vishwas Pant? And secondly, because you're a lawyer, Sarvesh, I'm going to ask you that what is the legal tenability of this SIT now that the documents are in the public domain? There is an FIR, there is a forgery and cheating case against the SIT chief. What should happen to the SIT now, legally speaking?
See, a very good evening to everyone here and people watching us. See, this whole thing, this SIT or investigation, legally is null and void ab initio from the day it started.
right,
It violates the basic criminal jurisprudence from the day it got started. And now coming to the IAS Sahab here, who is heading this IT. See, this is not coming as a shock for me because this is for me, or to my understanding, is basic eligibility criteria for an officer or for a bureaucrat to be in the good books of Bhajpa. So they handpick the corrupt officers whom they can drive their way, who can dance to their tunes. So this officer, be it this officer or Ajay Pal Sharma ji, you saw in Bengal elections, he has got FIR on him, and the video you must remember. Everyone remembers the video, the dance video, the bar
Yes.
video he had. So these happening officers are actually handpicked by BJP to cover their deeds, to cover their sins. So this is their actually they're very the
No, but neither the
jitna
government, Sarvesh, neither the Yogi government nor Vijay Vishwas Pant had an idea that these documents could be unearthed by some soulful
see the real, I guess there's some technical glitch, but if see the real problem, the real forgery which is happening with people of India is being done by BJP. They were well aware. I started with the fact at the statement that these guys are handpicked to cover this. BJP was not aware. BJP was clueless about this thing, that this whole issue will drag to this point now. They were sure that they will cover this initially. When this came out, they were covering this. Then they came up with this SIT thing to cover this up, and headed by, see, this is the only case in India where the accused is trust, the respondent is trust, the investigator is trust, and judge is also the trust. So SIT was traveling, investigating with Champat Rai.
Oh, I think there's a power failure at his end, I guess. Okay, let me come to Shaira ji. Shaira ji, what would you really say to this entire story now? A forgery and a cheating case against the SIT chief himself, who is investigating into the Ram temple theft. Is the Yogi government now completely exposed, or rather, the BJP is completely exposed today? Now, actually, nobody needs any proof. Are these documents, the FIR, or the cheating or the forgery case, a final nail in the coffin? It shows how BJP is handling this entire investigation.
It just shows the manner in which this whole issue was taken up by the government. They thought that since it is out in the open, we have to take some action. So this action was just to please the people, but really not to catch the thieves. And if they had been serious, they would have if they would have been serious, they would have first lodged an FIR and then started the whole process. There was no FIR lodged in the beginning. Until now, the big names are out. People they still don't have any FIR against them. And then choosing this handpicked officer who has a track record of repeated, acts of commission and omission shows to that how serious they were taking it. Now it remains to be seen what is going to be the future of this SIT. Whether it is left with any credibility, whatever little credibility it had, and whether its report would be taken seriously. Who will take a report seriously of a person who's under pressure, who is already facing these kind of corruption charges? For all you know, it can be a quid pro quo situation. Give a report and get out of it. So you never know what can anything is possible. So that is all I can say. The SIT in any case had very low credibility, and with this report out in the open, it has virtually nil, no credibility.
Right. So, with the zero credibility, Sharaji, what would you really suggest that what should the government be doing ideally in the ideal case, and what the government wouldn't do, and they will still brazen out?
Your intent is not straight, when your intent is to protect the real culprits, which in this case is now blatantly visible, that whether it is Yogi Adityanath or the Delhi Walas, the intent was very clear how to protect whom and how to nail whom. The idea was not to unearth the truth. If the idea would have been to unearth the truth, then they would have actually ensured that a foolproof case is made and the officer who's handpicked is straight and clean and unblemished record. In this case, they chose somebody who was pliable, who had demonstrated his pliability earlier. And that is why, so Pant was brought in here, now I believe, only with the purpose to make him do whatever their political masters want. The idea was not to unearth the truth. And that is the reason they've gone a step ahead, which we have missed out, When on this FIR, because it's Yogi's administration, there's Yogi's police, this Pant was given a clean chit in the investigation. A final report was lodged by the local police, because if it's a case of 420, it has to be investigated by the police. Twice they gave him a clean chit. Twice the final report was submitted. Final report means you are exonerated. But the court, that is how the CJM comes in, the Chief Judicial Magistrate. And I must hats off to whoever was the CJM. He refused to get cowed down or influenced by political masters. And so he refused to accept the final report submitted by the police. That is the reason he is still in the dock.
No, but do you
Because
think by any chance, Sharaji, do you think by any chance, if any shame is left, will the Yogi government dissolve this SIT or remove Vijay Vishwas Pant from this particular post after this FIR has come out?
I really, they must be looking for ways. If that is what they will be compelled to do, they would have done it by now. But I'm sure it is not entirely in Yogi's hands. He has to take the permission of the bosses in Delhi. And now they must be working out a plan whereby they can again shift this whole thing and find another scapegoat. Because now that they stand exposed, because Yogi at no cost would want the message to go that, there is no Ram Raj in UP. There is Ravan Raj. Or he can't, obviously. So he would move heaven and earth. And that is going to suit the Delhi Walas also. Yes,
No,
it's a
but
different matter.
but here it's
If
a
Delhi
question
Walas
of
blame it on Yogi, listen, mind you, considering the equations that are there or not there between Yogi and Modi and Shah. So this may be also a good handle to make Yogi do whatever Delhi wants. Because now it's Delhi's call. Delhi will say that they did not handpick there. They are not in officially they are nowhere. They have no role to play in handpicking Vijay Vishwas Pant. That Yogi has done. And now that this the cat is out of the bag and everybody knows
Are you
how
sensing some
the
sort of a
proximity.
conspiracy? Sharaji, are you
Yes.
sensing some sort of a conspiracy? Why this FIR came out in the public domain, this FIR which was hidden all this while, maybe just a
Yeah.
few people knew, and now it's come out in the public domain. So obviously this has been fed and has been
Yes.
detail has
You
been
hit the nail. You have now hit the nail on the head. So
Hmm.
that is the whole story. So
to
now
trap Yogi. To trap
to trap
Yogi.
Yogi. Yeah. To
Okay.
keep Yogi under the thumb. Because
Hmm.
they don't get long. So this was a good occasion, but this in the larger context, just think about it. A government which comes to power in the name of Ram, a government which claims the prime minister who claims to have brought Ram, although we always believe that Ram has only brought us and he's also going to take us away. I don't know how well Mr. Modi is different, so he's non-biological, so maybe Ram doesn't take him, somebody else takes him because everybody has to go. So, but in this case, it is very evident now. They will be looking for a safe exit, for a harmless exit, because there are so many. Look at Mr. Modi. See, so Mr. Modi's prayers might be heard, not by Ram, by somebody else whom he owes allegiance. So the whole objective again will be how to give it a twist. It could also be a diversionary tactics. Just and this other person standing next to Yogi, this Govind Giri, have you seen his statements? This guy who's standing next to Modi, the way he tried to give a clean sheet to Champat Rai, even after he was whose resignation was accepted, he continues to hold this Champat Rai in very high esteem, and he treats him bigger than a more honest guy than Raja Harish Chandra, whose name is related to honesty and integrity. Unfortunately, I feel that the way it has been exposed and the way opposition is raising the issue, all opposition, unitedly they need to fight against this to keep the issue alive. And this is now goes beyond doubt that what was the purpose behind the the special investigative team. I will always suspect, but now it is proven beyond doubt that their whole intent
No, but
was
in the eyes of the people after this revelation, what is the kind of credibility which the SIT will be left with? And I'm sure
nothing.
If Yogi and Modi were planning to go to town with this SIT report and saying that we've taken our tough decisions, now will they have the face to go and tell the people something? Or they've
I
lost
think
it
Delhi will
completely?
find some. Delhi will get into action. And so far Modi and Shah have kept quiet about it. Now, when they raise their voice, it will be aimed at targeting Vijay Vishwas Pant. Not only will he be removed from the SIT, he will also be removed as Divisional Commissioner Lucknow, to send the message across to see, we are not going, na main khata hu, na khane deta hu, types. So now that will be reiterated in this form. And of course, it's rather late in the day. Maybe the way they are being shown, they are all praying to God, save us now, find some
Right.
way. They will try and use another diversionary tactics. They
Absolutely.
won't give it so easily, but it will be very evident in the next over the next 1 or 2 days how Delhi is exercising control, and their objective will also come out in the open, that no more is Yogi Adityanath the holy cow,
Right.
because this blame Yogi will find it very, very, very difficult to avoid,
Right.
to
Yeah, and
avert.
it's quite evident because so far Yogi tried to distance himself and project, at least before the people, that he's not the one who's involved. And but now this FIR really brings Yogi on the mat because of the officer Vijay Vishwas Pant, who happens to be very, very close to Yogi, and there is a forgery and cheating case against him. So lots of questions. But yes, it seems that the SIT, the credibility of the SIT is in tatters now. I don't think the people would really give credence to whatever report comes out of this SIT. Thank you so much, Sharaji, for joining on the Federal. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you, Neelu.
Thank you. Bye, sir.